What's going on, everybody? Today in our video, instead of a typical Sunday round, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about how I use the Sunday round to get better at golf, and why I think this is one of the most important things you can do is film your game on course, and that way you're going to be able to diagnose, hey, am I getting somewhere, or do I need to keep working on things, and then be able to improve faster. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you. We're here not in the studio today. We're actually here at my home. This is where I do a lot of work when I am doing some kind of prep work. I like to do a lot of work away from the simulator because then it's too easy to go just say I want to go hit and stuff like that. And in reality, you can just start kind of analyzing things, get a clear game plan of what's going on. And this is stuff that I do at the college level. I don't know if many know, I coach collegiately. I'm a head coach at a team. And this is stuff that I do all the time, and we've had great success. We're one of the lowest ranked teams that have made some of the biggest jumps in the entire country, I believe, because of stuff like this. So it's really helpful, gets you clear on what you're trying to do, and more importantly, it lets you know if you are getting somewhere. So what I like to do with the Sunday round, first off, I'll talk a little bit about, is it something you should do? 100%. This is, if you have an at-home setup, I think it's extremely important to film your rounds on course. I think too many people just film them while they are, practicing on the range. I think that's valuable too, but the whole point of filming in general, it's new in golf. You don't want to look at film to identify, I would say most people don't want to look at film to identify things that are going on wrong, because film is misleading. We actually don't do that anymore. Now, you'll say, oh, Scott, you look at film all the time and tell people what's going on. Yeah, because I've studied enough of what we call 3D data. We have so much more information out there. So, I get this told to me all the time, like, oh, look at how they swing on tape. And I just have to, if you're telling me to look at a videotape to look at a swing, it's not even in the same league. It's just not what I'm going to look at. It's not going to tell you a whole lot. What it will tell you, though, is if what you're working on is actually where you want it to be. It just gives you feedback to practice. It's not something that, to me, is going to say, hey, you can figure out what's going on. You need a coach, or you need some feedback from much better sources of information. But then you use cameras to say, all right, I'm going to try this move, and then you want to look at it and say, oh wow, that's looking more like what I thought it would look like, or it doesn't feel right, but man, that looks really good because of all these things, right? And so that's what the Sunday round can be really good for, in filming yourself playing. Now, the way I do my Sunday round and how my filming setup is, I just use my camera, the same DSLR I have right in front of me. I use a software called OBS, and you can download it for free. It's just open broadcast software, I believe it's called. That's what its name is. But if you type OBS Studio, you're gonna find it. And it's, again, free, easy to use. And so what you can do is put your round screen up there, because I like to see the shot shapes that go with everything. But I can also put my video of the screen, and you can resize those as much as you want. And I put a logo because I have a good friend that helped me build my enclosure and all that stuff. So I really like to just have that stuff on there. But you can do it whatever you want with it. And as we go through the round, what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to take my video. Again, my process is I work with a coach myself. I work with my coach online. I've never actually met my coach in person. I got him through a recommendation of another friend, and he was somebody that fit what I was looking for. And so I was struggling with something. He came in, he helped me, and then what we did was made some swings on video. Again, we talked about the non-video stuff, but then we put it to something on video so I could just practice and be able to say, hey, this is where I'm getting to, and oh yeah, that's what it's going to look like when I'm on video. So then I'll hit practice shots. I was practicing making swings on what I was doing, and then I would go and say, all right, cool, I feel good, I'm going to try it out on the course. And then this is where I move into the next part, which is playing these rounds and filming my swing. So what I'm going to do is we'll jump in and we'll start looking at these. But the first thing is I'm going to look at my practice swing. So I've got a few different practice swings on tape. Here's me doing a couple of drills as I go. just trying to figure some stuff out here. You can see just doing some figuring out my hands and stuff and things like that, but we can go into that later. But this was a pretty good swing for me, and so I really liked this swing, and I do remember liking the shot. Even though I don't have the unit on the screen, I do remember having it on and liking where the ball was traveling. So again, we'll play that. So I get a look at what I like to see in my swing. So I think you want to compare it to something and say that was good. So then I'm going to start clicking through the round a little bit and start looking at the swings. And I know in this particular round, this is one that I was playing, and I know that I was struggling at the start with getting that ball to start with, it's going a little bit to the right. My tendency with my swing is I tend to go over. You've heard me talk a lot about it. I go over. I've kind of fell into the trap of trying to lead with the pivot and stuff like that, and going against all the science that's out there, because you hear some good ideas, and which is terrible advice. Don't do that. But I like to try things, especially before I teach them, if I ever was to teach it, and that's going to usually help me make sure it's good for my students. And it didn't work for me, and I don't find it work for a lot of people. So I started to realize I was getting that over the top move because I was doing that, and so I start looking for it in my motion. I also will start looking at my chipping motion and stuff as we do this, but I remember when I was playing the round, I really felt like on the 6th hole here is when it started to click for me, where I was like, yeah, that actually looks it felt good. I started seeing the ball turn over a little bit, which is my goal, and I was starting to see, the distances be good and all of that. So I'm heading over to that, and I'm going to start watching some of those swings. Now, that one wasn't particularly good, but it was close. And now we're going to move into this iron, and I'm going to watch this one. And that one was a lot better. That was definitely a lot better, a lot closer to what I was doing. Even though the shot wasn't great, that's fine. I'm not really that worried about that. I'm just trying to make sure I get my swing where I want it to get to. So that's what we're looking at as we do these rounds. Now, as we go through, I continue to click through and just kind of take a look as I progress and see if it works. And so people say, well, hey, Scott, how do you remember all this stuff? Well, one, if you can remember it, you can remember it. That's great. But what I'll do then is I will take this information, I'll close it out, and I bring up a tool. This is a tool I use in all of my coaching. This is a tool that's used by many of the top coaches I know. And I've actually had the privilege of seeing into some of their training spaces with them. That's what these are called. But if you've taken online lessons from me or any lessons from me, you're very familiar with this Coach Now. And that's just a great software that basically becomes like a locker for your data. And so you can put anything in here, which is what I like. I've tried a lot of the other swing softwares. I've pretty much tried them all, and I don't like them because the only thing you can do is really record a swing and analyze the swing and talk over the swing, kind of like you do here as you see this double video. But you can do that on this, but I can just type notes. So as I'm going through, what I would do is I would typically try to date things. It does date it for you on this as well, but sometimes if you need like an extra, hey, what was the thing, I will just start typing in notes as I go. I'll say started to get the draw back and the feeling. This is the key. I'm going to type the feelings that I had throughout the swing. The feelings I had were, I like lists. Type it however you want. It's just to remember it. Was more turn in the backswing, and then more throw from the top. I know what that means. I'm going to remember it. So I will take that, I will post it, and now I've got something that I can check on my phone, check everywhere when I go through. So something that you would want to do, and I do this with all of my players. All of my players get one of these spaces, but I even take it to the next level. I give them notebooks. If they're not wanting to like type stuff on their phone or go on the computer, I give them a notebook, just a little guy that they keep in their bags, and they have to either document it electronically or they have to write it down. So my process goes from getting the information from a good source, Again, somebody that preferably works in 3D, not with video, and then taking that 3D info and taking it to video so I can just easily document it, because 3D gets a little bit tough to look at, and maybe we'll show you how some of that works here if you're interested in that. But we do that, and then we take it to video, we work on it in practice, and then we take that video to the course and see if we can pull it off. And as I'm doing it, I'm documenting it, taking notes so I can remember it, and we'll be able to go. So we'll have more with the Sunday rounds. This is a big reason why I do them. I also do it because I want to share it with you and hopefully pick up some on-course stuff and some ways of thinking about the game. I think that's really, really important. But a lot of it too is I want to watch it. I watch them, and I'm trying to see if I'm getting any better too. So that's what I do with them. Hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully this encourages you to start doing it. You can just film it on your phone. If you don't want to do the whole setup like I do, just film it on your phone, see what your swing looks while you play, see if it's getting where you want it to get to, and make sure if you're not, get some help, get some opinions on it, and make sure you do that. So if you have any questions about it, make sure you check out our website, Scott Hogan Golf. We have our online course. We're going through a 6-week boot camp talking about all of this. Make sure you don't miss out on that. And also, if you like it, we got new hats in. Make sure you check those out as well. And we'll see you in the next video, all right? Peace. Go Buccaneers.